that is a great segue because we were talking about Anthony Smith, and he is opening up the main card of UFC 277 this weekend against Magomed Ankalaev. Let's go around the room and see if anyone has the audacity, the rudeness, the barefaced cheek, the two-facedness to pick against Anthony Smith in this fight. I mean, I think it's obviously I'm picking Anthony Smith in this one, and I truly mean that. You know, he's really impressed me. The body of work that he's had, the amount of fights that he's had, the experience, and how motivated he is. And, you know, we're joking about him swimming with dolphins and shit in Aruba. What he's doing there, in my opinion, is great because, you know, he doesn't need to learn how to get ready for a fight. He's had over 50 professional fights. You're going to be dialed in and focused, but also having a little bit of a mental break between training sessions is really, really good for the mind. He's got great coaches around him, great training partners, brought in a lot of wrestlers, as you just mentioned before. And on the feet, he's very, very effective. Problem is, everything I just said there probably applies to Magomed Ankalaev. Okay, 17-1. That one loss, he was 1 second away from being undefeated. It's a tough fight. It's a really, really tough fight. I have Anthony winning. I'm sure he's going to pull through. I'm sure he's going to do it. But I think we're going to see some worrying moments if you're the cornerman of either guy.
I mean, to me, this fight always shocked me, right? When I saw this was Anthony Smith was almost a 4-1 underdog, my mind was blown.
Is that what he is?
I mean, he's plus 370, plus 350, something along those lines. I know I've had money on him for over a month that I've been like, man, I need this money to use in my life again. But I'm getting such a good price here. I can't say no to it. Anthony Smith, to me, this should be a scratch fight on paper, you know, for what Anthony brings to the table and what Magomed brings to the table. The fact that everybody is kind of counting out Anthony blows my mind in this one. I don't see the path to victory for Magomed Ankalaev, if I'm being honest.
Well, there is path to victories. I'm just looking at the reach and size of them both. Anthony's got a slight reach and height advantage, 6'4" to 6'3", 76 to 75. So not necessarily an advantage when it comes to an inch. You know, it's very, very close. He's going to have to watch the takedowns. He's going to have to watch the front kicks. Ankalaev is a complete threat. He isn't just a one-trick pony. He's not a Dagestani wrestler. You know, he's a very, very tough opponent. Anthony's got fantastic jiu-jitsu. If he ends up underneath, I know he's the strongest he's ever been as well. He's the sharpest he's ever been. He's got the weight of the believers in his mind. So his mind's the strongest ever. It's a tough fight, but I see Anthony winning. I wouldn't dare put that out in the universe. And I think maybe in round 3, with as vicious as he is, he might get a stoppage. As I say again, that Ryan Spann fight. Ryan Spann's no walk in the park. Ryan Spann's legit, you know, and he took him out of there in absolutely devastating fashion. So let's go, Anthony. Let's go indeed. What do we have next? What's next, Brian? Harrington.
Alex Perez versus Alexander Pantoja.
Yeah, 2 flyweights on here. I mean, 2 flyweight fights on the main card. So the flyweight's now getting a big... getting a big spotlight, which is great because it wasn't that long ago they were talking about maybe getting rid of the division.
I mean, flyweights just had the fight of the night 2 weeks ago at UFC Long Island. Like, flyweights have definitely been holding their own and making a name for themselves in this in the promotion.
Pantoja recently beat Brandon Royval. Very, very fun fight that one was. And Manel Karp, who had a ton of hype when he came to the UFC. Of course, Alex Perez. What's he? I'm just looking at his record here. 24-6 last time out. Lost to Davison Figueiredo in November 2021. That fight ended very quick. Didn't really get going. It's a good fight. It's a fun fight. What do you think, Harrington? Who's your pick? And Brian, by the way, chime in.
I am going to go with Pantoja. I mean, I feel like this guy should have gotten the title shot probably before Brandon Moreno even. I can't remember the exact circumstances of why he didn't, but I mean, this guy he's been in the wings for a while, and I feel like he's the next man up in the division.
I agree. I totally agree. I mean, that win over did he beat Royval? He did. He beat Royval. I just said that, didn't I? Yeah. I mean, Royval's no walk in the park. Royval's fantastic, and that was a super entertaining fight. So, yep, I've got him. Next fight, though, who you got, right? Brian?
No, you guys nailed it.
Oh, exactly. It's one of those. If you're not hardcore, you don't know too much about those two, let's be honest. Flyweight's still not getting the attention that some of the other divisions But a lot of great fights, a lot of great fighters, a lot of skill. But everything I just said there, eradicate that from your thoughts. Take the size of them, make them way bigger, way slower, but hit so fucking hard. Right? They're not as dynamic. They're not going to do somersaults as they walk in, but they are super fucking entertaining. Of course, I'm talking about Sergey Pavlovich taking on Derrick, the Black Beast Lewis. If you don't know Sergey Pavlovich, right, this guy.
Get ready.
Oh, my God, right? This guy hits bloody hard. Commentated his last fight in London, knocked him out in 4 minutes. Before that, he knocked out Maurice Green, Marcelo Gome. Out of 15 wins, 12 knockouts, he has, ridiculous punching power. And I mean ridiculous. And that's why this fight's going to be so entertaining, because we all know what Derrick Lewis brings to the table. I'll let you get in just a second. I do. Go on, Bri.
Oh, I was going to say, if Derrick Lewis loses this fight, I mean, where does that put him in the division? Is he going to be like the Mark Hunt, like never going to get a title fight, but just going to be the guy who is the gatekeeper?
Well, Derrick Lewis is such a fan favorite. People love him. He's awesome. He is. He's got a great sense of humor, fights his ass off. He's just struggling a bit lately. And the problem for him is, in this one, it's in Texas again, right? He fought Cyril Gahn in Houston, hometown. A lot of nerves. When he walked out, I was like, shit, this doesn't look good. Then he beats Chris Daukaus, knocks him out against the fence, fights Tai Tuivasa in Dallas, Houston, Texas, once again in his backyard, and gets face planted, gets caught. It was a very entertaining fight. The crowd was going absolutely wild, but then gets caught with an elbow and face plants unconscious. Now he's coming back to Texas again with all that pressure, with all that, pressure. I mean, that's it. He wants to live up to the moment. He wants to give his home people something to be happy about, celebrate. But that is a gift and a curse. It's a mental pressure. And he's got a guy very capable of knocking him out.
Yeah, I mean, certainly Sergey is capable of knocking out, a piece of granite. The guy hits like a freight train. I just looked up Derrick Lewis, 1-0 so far in his fights in Dallas. He had one fight in Legacy. So, I mean, maybe it's far enough away from the hometown. It's like a 6 or 7 hour drive. Not all your friends and family are going to come. You only got to worry about tickets for like 8 people instead of 80. That could maybe help him out. This is an odd fight because, until Tai Tuivasa came along, in my mind, none of these super hard punching guys who are ready to get into a brawl and go to war with Derrick Lewis were going to win, right? We saw it with Daukaus in the fight before Tuivasa, right? So now I see somebody like Spivak who's coming in, who's like, I'm just going to keep throwing bombs at you. And Derrick Lewis has to stand there and counter with his devastating shots. I just saw somebody beat Derrick Lewis with that style. And that kind of makes me lean towards Spivak just a little bit.
Yeah. And listen, I totally get that. I understand why you'd say that, and it's perfectly understandable. The thing is, Texas, I mean, it's a big place, isn't it? I'm sure people in Texas are used to doing very, very long drives. Yes, it's not Houston, but, come on. If I lived in Texas and I was fighting in Dallas and all my mates were like, nah, man, that's too far to me to fucking drive. I'm going to sit here on my horse and my guitar and watch it on the telebox. No, I'd be like, fucking prick, get yourself down there. Not only that, he's coming back from a bad knockout. I love Derrick Lewis. Honestly, I do. I love watching him fight. He's so exciting. I love his style. I love him as a person. If you follow him on social media, he's a really good guy. He's always helping people out. Remember there was that time, the floods, and he pulled up with his truck. He was rescuing people. He's just a good dude. He's funny. He's a great fighter. But psychologically, coming back from knockouts like that is very, very hard. I'm not saying he can't win. I'm saying it's going to be hard. I'm saying it's a tough matchup as well. What do you think? Who wins?
I mean, here's the thing. It's the kind of fight I think Derrick Lewis is looking for, right? Like somebody who's going to come forward, come at him, put constant. Because Derrick Lewis, I mean, you remember the Curtis Blades fight. He just stood there like a Mortal Kombat character until Blade shot, and then boom, precise precision uppercut. To me, that this guy coming forward and swinging for the fences is exactly what Derrick Lewis is hoping for. I just don't have the faith that he is necessarily going to stop this guy, because I've seen this dude land heavy shots on his last 3 opponents. Granted, not nearly the level of Derrick Lewis, but like I said, after the tie fight.
I'm just looking at the record of Derrick Lewis, and shockingly enough, 26 wins, 21 knockouts. There you go. That's the power. 9 losses, 6 of them knockouts. She's been knocked out 6 times. That's quite a lot, And how old is he? Hold on, let me just look that up. He is coming into this one. He will be 37 years old. So still a good age for the heavyweight division. And when
that's prime for heavyweight.
Yeah, no, it is. It really is. And when you look at it, I mean, Tai Tuivasa, tremendous fighter. Crazy to think that Tai Tuivasa one day could be fighting for a belt, right? You maybe wouldn't have thought that a while ago, but he's got so much better. Cyril Gane just fought for a belt. The other people to beat him, former champion Junior Dos Santos. Before that, Daniel Cormier, double champ, of course. And before that one, Mark Hunt back in 2017. And then on the regional, oh no, not on the regional. Wow. Oh, it's all the way down the bottom. Sean Jordan knocked him out. Matt Mitrione knocked him out. Wow. Yeah. I don't even want to say it, but I've got a bad feeling for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Derrick, don't hate me, but I'm saying Sergey Pavlovich. Moving on quick. It's flyweights. Don't give a fuck what they think. They're going to come knock me out. No, I love Derrick Lewis. Let's go, the Black Beast.
I was going to say, did you see he called John Morgan a blueberry?
No, what happened?
Blueberry muffin?
I saw there was a bit of bullshit. Go on, break it down. Oh, do we have video?
I believe we do have a video, but I can give you the bullet points if you want them. So basically, Derrick Lewis was complimenting John Morgan in a very backhanded style, right? He's like, it looks like you're losing weight. I can almost start to see a neck there. Like you look good. And like he seemed like he was trying to be playful and nice to John, but he did point out that he was wearing a black shirt, which makes it slimming. And maybe it's when he's in the blue that he normally looks like a blueberry muffin.
Oh God. John Morgan does always wear that blue shirt. I'm glad to see that he's mixing things up. You know what I mean? And black is very slimming. Maybe, because who was it? Someone had a go at him recently for being a little overweight. Who was that?
I think it was Colby.
Colby
was like, do push-ups and I'll answer your question or something.
That's right. Colby, John, do not let these people fat shame you. You don't have to wear black because it's very slimming, says the man wearing a black shirt. It's just my color. Anyway, Brandon Moreno, Kai Kara France. Is this for an interim belt or is it just the number 1 contender?
No, interim title fight.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's 2 rematches for titles at the top of the card.
Yeah. Kai Kara France looking great lately. Knockout power, all coming together. Brandon Moreno, sensational. If you saw those fights with Figueiredo, they were both incredible performances. The one that he beat him was sensational. Well, they fought 3 times now, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and all 3 were great fights.
Yeah, you got a draw and then 1 each.
Yeah, it's a tough one, this to pick. It really is.
I don't think it is. I think Brandon Moreno is the main character wherever he is. I really do. I think he's just going to come in and fucking win this one.
I think you might be right. You can't underestimate Kara France. But I'm kind of with Brian there. What I've seen from Brandon Moreno has impressed me so much. Same with France, but I've just been more impressed with Kai Kara France. Sorry, Brandon Moreno. I'm going Moreno.
Okay. I was just trying to look up the stats for their first fight. But I mean, you look at Kai Kara France, since he joined the UFC, he has a loss to Brandon Moreno and a loss to Brandon Royval where he got caught in a guillotine choke. I mean, it can happen to anyone. My question is, Brandon Moreno has fought Deiveson Figueiredo 3 times in a row right now. Is it possible that they are just they're the perfect opponents for each other, right? And they just bring out the most electrifying style. To me, there's a chance that this new opponent coming in, Kai Kara France, who is on, a heater himself, there's something about it to me that thinks maybe he can get the job done, steal this one on points.
Hey, maybe he can. Maybe he can knock him out as well. He's got knockout power. He's shown that. So yeah. I mean, it's very, very close. It's very, very close. Right, main event. I'm excited for this one. Juliana Pena, Amanda Nunes. You mentioned before the Ultimate Fighter thing that we did, the tough champs. And Juliana Pena was great. She was awesome company. She had a great attitude, good sense of humor. She's ferocious in the ring. and she won that fight fair and square last time against Nunes. She stood with her toe-to-toe after a tough first round, which mentally isn't easy to do. When you have a tough opening round, to put that behind you and go out there and still fight confidently, not everyone can do that. Pena did that. She stood toe-to-toe, and she beat Nunes fair and square. Now, there's a lot of storylines, right? COVID. She had long COVID. She wasn't well. She didn't feel good. The conditioning wasn't there. Maybe she took her for granted. Maybe she was complacent. All these things. If that's the case, that's her fault, right? I don't care about any of that stuff. If this COVID business, right, and I don't know if it's a real thing, but people say that it is, that could be a reason, because she was by far the better fighter in round one. But round two, she got tired. And Pena beat her fair and square. So she deserves to be the champ. I just don't know if it's going to go down the same way this time.
That's interesting, because, I've been thinking about this fight like along the lines of Chris Weidman versus Anderson Silva, right? Where we saw like the shocking upset the first time out. And it's like, in my mind, Anderson Silva is going to wipe the floor with Chris Weidman in the rematch. Like, I not really knowing too much like that in my mind was like, oh, Silva wasn't taking this seriously. He overestimated his opponent, whatever the case may be. And I was wrong. I couldn't have been more wrong. It ended in obviously in a freak injury, but it's like, to me, like once you lose that, like that kind of, once you lose a fight as the GOAT, it's kind of hard to come back unless your name is GSP.
Well, the thing is though, for Amanda Nunes, the reality is she's lost quite a few fights. So it's not like this is new territory for her. But you do have to ask a question. How old is she? I'm not sure, but she's been around a long time, been in the UFC, made a lot of money, had a lot of doors open to her, a lot of opportunities, still a 45-pound champion, So is she slowing down? Is she stepping off the gas? We don't 34. know. 34 years old, not old at all in any stretch of your imagination. Went on Jesus Christ, look at this win streak. 21-5, beat Megan Anderson, Felicia Spencer, Jermaine Durandame, Holly Holm, Chris Cyborg. What a fight that was. Raquel Pennington, Shevchenko, Rousey, Misha Tate, Shevchenko, Sarah McMahon, Shayna Baszler. Before that, lost to Kat Zingano. You know how she lost to Kat Zingano?
Elbow?
Going out there, dominating her for the first round, and then getting finished in the second because she was tired. And that's kind of something that used to haunt her and she was known for, but then it seems she got that figured out. So maybe she certainly,
I was going to say that third round with Valentina, right? Where everybody was calling for the rematch because Valentina was dominating her as the bell was at the end of that fight.
Yeah. I think Nunes, just from what we saw in that first round, she looked so much better. And I feel bad for saying that because I'm not trying to take away from the winner for Juliana Pena because that's a bit of a dick move to do. So I don't think it was a fluke. I think she beat her fair and square. But I think Nunes comes back and she gets the win. And new, baby.
Yeah, I want to see I also want to see what this new camp is, right? Because this is her first time fighting anywhere but ATT, right? Yep. So I want to see what corner's going to look like. I want to see what her conditioning is going to look like without coaches to like, she's running the show now, right? And traditionally, to me, like, I'm picturing late stage Joanna Jędrzejczyk, right? Like I think she was running the show for herself towards the end there. And it's like, I don't know. There is something to me about somebody who's young, who's hungry, who believes that this is their time to be on top of the mountain. I think Juliana could get it done on Saturday.
All right. Well, you got to shave your beard.
No. You gotta
shave
the beard up for this one. No.
Shaving that.
What are you putting up? You gonna give me the Tesla?
That's fair. A
Tesla versus the beard. I'll do that.
Deal. All right.
Shut up, Harrington.